Imagine stumbling upon an ancient gospel that challenges everything we've ever believed about Jesus Christ. Could it be that hidden secrets, long buried beneath the sands of time, are waiting to transform our understanding of spirituality? The truth is, we all hold a divine potential within us, just waiting to be awakened. In 1945, something extraordinary happened near the city of Nag Hammadi in Upper Egypt. 12 ancient papyrus books, bound in leather and sealed in a ceramic jar, were discovered. Among them was the Gospel of Thomas, a collection of 114 sayings attributed to Jesus. These texts were likely hidden by the religious authorities of the time to protect them from being destroyed. But why would anyone want to bury such sacred works? And what could these hidden Gospels reveal about Jesus and the divine potential within us? To explore these mysteries, we turn to the wisdom of Dolores, a pioneering hypnotherapist and author who dedicated her life to uncovering hidden truths and expanding human consciousness. In one of her most fascinating books, Jesus and the Essenes, she delves into the life of Jesus and his connection to the Essenes, a Jewish sect known for their deep spiritual insights. This book offers a fresh perspective on Jesus' life and teachings, echoing the profound messages found in the Gospel of Thomas. Let's dive into the symbolism and hidden messages within these ancient texts, uncovering a path to self-realization and inner divinity. By looking beyond the surface and exploring the depths of our consciousness, we can discover the true essence of Jesus' teachings. These teachings suggest that true enlightenment and a connection to the divine come from within, challenging the traditional view of Jesus as a distant, unattainable figure. If you're eager to uncover more stories and spiritual truths about Jesus, join our community by subscribing to this channel. And if you find this exploration enlightening, please consider showing your support by clicking the Super Thanks button below. Historical context: the Nag Hammadi discovery. By supporting this channel, you're becoming part of a community that values truth, self-discovery, and spiritual growth. Your generosity and continued support mean the world to us. Now let's take a closer look at the historical context of these texts and the impact of their suppression. After the Council of Nicaea in AD 325, the early Christian Church shaped the story of Jesus Christ to align with its objectives. By declaring Jesus as the only Son of God and emphasizing his virgin birth, the Church established a doctrine that placed Christ as an external Savior, distant from the personal and transformative journey that the Gospel of Thomas suggests. Instead of being the only divine figure, Jesus is portrayed as a guide to self-realization, a concept that resonates with our true potential and consciousness. The teachings of the Gospel of Thomas encourage us to turn inward, to discover our divine nature, and to achieve the same level of enlightenment that Jesus did. It might seem revolutionary, but the idea that the true essence of Christ is an internal potential for enlightenment within each of us challenges the traditional narrative that has dominated for centuries. The texts found at Nag Hammadi offer a radically different view of Jesus as a fully self-realized teacher guiding us to personal liberation and divine self-awareness. This exploration suggests that the true essence of Christ is not just in the historical figure of Jesus, but in the divine potential that resides within each of us. The Council of Nicaea, convened by Emperor Constantine in 325 AD, brought significant changes to Christian doctrine, standardizing beliefs and practices while declaring Jesus of Nazareth the only Son of God. This decision excluded other interpretations and altered texts that didn't fit the newly established orthodoxy. The Gospel of Thomas, likely written around 100 AD, offers a fresh perspective on spiritual teachings that challenges the official narrative. Unlike traditional views that emphasize external worship and rigid doctrine, This gospel highlights the importance of inner divinity and personal spiritual growth. What makes it stand out is that it includes sayings directly attributed to Jesus, focusing on self-awareness and the journey within. One powerful saying from this gospel is, "The kingdom is within you and outside of you." When you truly understand yourself, you'll recognize that you are children of the living Father. This teaching diverges sharply from conventional Christian beliefs that place the kingdom of God as a distant realm to be reached after death. Instead, it suggests that enlightenment and a deep connection with the divine are achievable right here in the present through inner fulfillment and self-discovery. Understanding the historical context is key to grasping why such teachings were suppressed. By portraying Jesus as a distant divine figure, the early church, alongside Roman authorities, could maintain control over the spiritual narrative. This approach positioned them as the necessary gatekeepers between humanity and God, reinforcing their power and ensuring that spiritual authority remained centralized. The deliberate suppression and alteration of spiritual texts like this gospel were part of a broader effort to control religious interpretation and maintain social order. Revisiting these ancient teachings opens the door to a more personal and empowering spiritual path, one that invites us to seek the divine within ourselves. This path encourages us to recognize our potential to embody Christ consciousness. These ancient words offer a unique and transformative perspective on spirituality, urging us to look inward, embrace our inner light, and realize our inherent connection with the divine, beyond the confines of organized religion. This journey of self-discovery is about awakening to our true nature and potential. In the early centuries of Christianity, different interpretations of Jesus' teachings coexisted, reflecting a rich diversity of thought. The discovery of texts like the Gospel of Thomas sheds light on a version of Christianity that emphasizes personal spiritual enlightenment over institutionalized doctrine. If you're enjoying this enlightening exploration, consider showing your support by clicking the Super Thanks button below. By supporting this channel, you become part of a community that values truth, self-discovery, and spiritual enlightenment. Thank you for your generosity and continued support. The Gospel of Thomas introduces us to a Jesus who teaches the significance of self-knowledge and inner divinity. This view contrasts with the emerging orthodoxy of the early church, which shaped the portrayal of Jesus in the canonical Gospels. The Gospel of Thomas is a cornerstone of Gnostic Christianity, a belief system that emphasizes direct personal experience of the divine, often through esoteric knowledge and introspection. The text is rich with statements from Jesus that focus on self-discovery and inner transformation. One key teaching from the Gospel is, "The kingdom is within you and outside of you." Once you truly know yourself, you'll realize that you are children of the living Father. This reflects the Gnostic belief that enlightenment and divine connection are found within, rather than through external religious practices. The Gospel of Thomas uses powerful symbolism to convey its messages, interpreting the crucifixion not just as a historical event, but as a metaphor for the death of the ego and its rebirth into a higher state of consciousness. This aligns with ancient spiritual traditions that use symbolic narratives to illustrate the process of spiritual awakening. In Egyptian religion, for example, the resurrected journey of Osiris symbolizes the soul's transformation. Similarly, Jesus' teachings in the Gospel of Thomas advocate for an inward journey toward enlightenment, encouraging believers to seek the divine within. By emphasizing a singular divine Jesus, the early church sought to centralize spiritual authority and reinforce its role as an intermediary between God and believers. This movement marginalized alternative interpretations that promoted individual spiritual empowerment. Rediscovering these once hidden teachings uncovers a spiritual path that focuses on personal growth and inner enlightenment. The Gnostic perspective opens up spiritual knowledge to everyone, suggesting that each of us has the power to recognize our own divine nature without needing intermediaries. One of the most compelling symbols in the Gospel of Thomas is light. Jesus calls himself the light of the world, a metaphor that goes beyond his physical presence, representing the illumination of the soul. This light stands for divine wisdom and the awakening of consciousness, encouraging us to look past the material world and see the divinity within ourselves. Gnostic writings offer a fresh take on the crucifixion and resurrection, key themes in traditional Christianity. Interpreting them as metaphors for spiritual transformation, the crucifixion symbolizes the death of the ego, the part of us tied to material existence. This symbolic death is necessary for resurrection, which signifies rebirth into a higher state of consciousness. It is through this process that one attains Christ consciousness, a state of divine awareness and inner peace. This view aligns with ancient spiritual traditions that see the cycle of death and rebirth as essential to spiritual growth. Take, for instance, Egyptian mythology, where the death and resurrection of Osiris symbolize the soul's journey toward enlightenment and immortality. Osiris's transformation into a god parallels the Gnostic view of Jesus as an enlightened being guiding others on the path to divine realization. This symbolism isn't unique to Christianity, but echoes through various spiritual traditions. In Hinduism, Krishna embodies divine light, leading people towards self-realization. Similarly, in Buddhism, the Buddha's enlightenment serves as a model for personal awakening, highlighting the inner journey to nirvana. These connections reveal a universal spiritual truth. The path to enlightenment is an inner journey. Whether we follow the teachings of Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, or others, the core message remains the same. True divine knowledge and connection lie within ourselves. Another powerful symbol is the Christmas tree, which can be seen as a metaphor for spiritual ascent. The tree, representing the spine, is decorated with lights, symbolizing the activation of chakras as Kundalini energy rises. The star at the top represents Christ consciousness, the ultimate state of enlightenment. This symbolism calls us to seek the inner realm, aligning our physical and spiritual practices for personal transformation. By drawing parallels between Christian symbolism and other spiritual traditions, we uncover a universal path to enlightenment that transcends religious boundaries. This journey of inner awakening isn't confined to one doctrine, but is a timeless truth that resonates with the essence of human existence. It becomes clear that the heart of these teachings, found in the Gospel and other Gnostic texts, is an invitation to embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery and inner enlightenment. Rather than viewing Jesus as a distant divine figure, we see him as a guide, showing us that the path to the divine is within ourselves. By embracing this inner light, we realize our potential for divinity and reach a higher state of consciousness. The beauty of this journey lies in its universality. Whether through the teachings of Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, or other enlightened beings, the message is consistent. The key to spiritual awakening is within us. This insight transcends religious and cultural divides, offering a path to true enlightenment that's accessible to all. It encourages us to seek our own truth, connect with our inner divinity, and embark on the transformative journey of spiritual awakening. By making these connections and interpreting the teachings through a symbolic and universal lens, we can appreciate the profound wisdom in this gospel and other ancient texts. The journey of spiritual awakening is deeply personal yet universally accessible. The teachings in the gospel provide a roadmap to discovering our true nature, realizing our divine potential, and achieving a higher state of consciousness. They invite us to move beyond religious dogma and explore the depths of our own souls, where true enlightenment and divine connection reside. In doing so, we discover that the path to the divine is not an external pursuit, but an inward journey that leads to the realization of our true essence.